Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for the creative and curious. Whether you're looking to learn something completely new or just polish existing skills, you're sure to find the right fit for you. There's web design, public speaking, modelling, and yup, even cosplay. Want to craft your own armour or learn how to sew? Then you're in the right place. There's even 3D printing if you want to get all fancy. Skillshare classes combine video lessons and class projects, meaning you can fit them around your schedule if you're like me and have a million things happening at once. These are just a handful of the classes that I've been personally using recently. Believe it or not, I don't actually know how to use a sewing machine. Most of my cosplays are held together with hot glue and wishes, so I'm sure these classes will be invaluable. The first 1,000 people to use the link in my description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. This is a limited time offer, so get in there fast. Thank you Skillshare for sponsoring today's video.
Now then guys, my name is Mythicalitycosplay and today we are doing something slightly different. We are going with a makeup tutorial, specifically a beard tutorial. This is something that I get asked to do like quite often, and it's something I've also been kind of putting off for ages, because if I tell you my secrets, I'm gonna have to destroy you all, and that's gonna be really bad for my YouTube channel. So I'm also just a master of procrastination, and it's only just now that I'm finally thinking, you know what I should do? That makeup tutorial that I've been talking about for like 20,000 years. Excuse the just no makeup ugliness. I have put basic like foundation and concealer on and things like that. I will preface this by saying that although the characters are Jacksepticeye's characters, I'm not actively trying to make myself look exactly like Sean McLaughlin. I'm just trying to do what I can with my face to make it true to these characters. I'm not gonna sit here and contour the hell out of every little line and crease and stuff like that just to make myself look more like Sean. At the end of the day, I am just trying to look like his characters, not him. Ignore the fact that I do now have the Jacksepticeye era, the 2016 green hair. That was personal choice, and it was actually meant to be blue, so it didn't all go to plan, but it does help immensely with cosplaying the Jacksepticeye egos. So first, here's a few little rundown of things that you are going to need. I do the vast majority of my beard looks using face paint. I can't show you the lid because I've put water into this, but it's just good old Snazaroo black face paint. You can obviously use something that's a little bit more higher quality, but honestly, the Snazaroo never kind of steered me wrong with this. If it was a full coverage thing, like when I do Metaton and stuff, I don't tend to use Snazaroo. But for something simple like this, it works perfectly well. You're going to need some water because it's water activated face paint. You're going to need some shade of brown eyeshadow. You can see how well loved this one is. You're going to need some kind of translucent setting powder just to keep it in place. I use the NYX one. This was because it was on offer and it's fucking awesome. You're gonna need an eyebrow pencil. These are Spectrum brushes and they are freaking amazing if you get the chance to use them. Don't look at how gunky they are, I haven't washed them in a while. And you're gonna need some kind of eyeshadow brush as well. Preferably a thinner one like this, because you're gonna be getting quite like little details that you don't wanna have like big thick lines. And then the most important part for me that has been my like literal savior throughout doing my beard looks is a stipple sponge. You can't see because of the background. I look like a real freaking influencer now, doing the influencer hand thing. But look, it's like a porous kind of squishy sponge that has all these little like dents on it, and it's just absolutely awesome for getting that kind of stubble effect. And you can also use it to create like longer hair effects as well, which I will show you how to do. But I can't stress how good these are. I literally get them from Amazon. They're like a couple of quid each, and they're just hair on it, excuse that. They are awesome, so highly recommend. What am I doing? Highly recommend. You don't have to contour if you do decide to. This is just the palette that I use. It's just a really cheap one that I got off Amazon, and it is really damn good. And I use a Spectrum contouring brush as well. You don't have to contour, but I just find that it helps kind of give that illusion. It also just makes me feel a little bit better about myself as well. I've already done some like really basic ones with like the cheekbones and the massive 5 head, but I'm just gonna do a little touch up on my nose as well. and then you just blend it out. So if I was going outside into the big wide world, actually out into public, I would blend this a lot more to get rid of those obvious stark lines. But any kind of stage makeup, as soon as you put stage lights onto it, and when you're filming TikToks and things, all that makeup look kind of just vanishes away. All the contour just goes yeet out the window. So I really exaggerate all of the contouring that I do specifically for TikTok and content creation videos. So whenever I'm doing a masculine kind of look, I try to contour, and I just throw my brushes away too. I contour my around my eyes and just kind of like deepen the eye sockets a little. So you can use eyeshadow or contour for this and just really darken the whole top of the eyelid. Again, this is very exaggerated, but you can immediately see the difference in like how deeper set this one looks than that one, or at least I can anyway. There, and that just really deepens the eyes. Next part I do is always the most kind of embarrassing at this stage, but it's the eyebrows. So the egos have some thick eyebrows. So I use quite a dark shade of brown, get it on this little eyeshadow brush. I frown because that helps kind of, I don't know, give more of like an arch shape, which is what I want. So if it looks like I'm really angry at you, I promise I'm not. It's just, it's all for this. I do have a mirror like right here, but I'm so short-sighted that I need to bring it right up in front of my face. So here we go. When I look back at my like really old videos and stuff, I cringe so hard because I would make them hugely thick, and I would make the lines of my beard just so incredibly thick as well, and it was just like, it's all a learning process. I make them messy, I make them dark. I don't make them look like they're meant to be plucked or manicured. They just are what they are. They grow where they want to fucking grow. Quite arched, quite like the sharp edge to it up here, you know? It especially helps with like, I'm not saying that Sean is villainous, I'm saying that like it helps with his villainous characters like Auntie and stuff to have that kind of arch going on. And I am going to use a little lighter shade of brown just to really accentuate that. Accentuate, is that a word? Yeah, it is, I think. Just to deepen that again. Hair, man. I sounded really Geordie there, didn't I? No. They're not twins, they're not even sisters, but they'll do. And now we get on to the fun part. So to do the basic beard outline, I usually use a little bit of eyeshadow first, just to give it some depth and some warmth, I guess. So I use quite a light shade of brown, because don't forget it's going to be completely covered by the face paint. This is just to map out where we need it to be. So go along the jaw. A jawline suddenly appears, it's great. Don't forget to match it up to any sideburns you may have. Pull the stupid face because why not? Make sure you get under your jaw. Don't give yourself like a full neck beard, but at least give it some shading. More stupid faces. Use up the lip indent. Just a very basic mustache. And don't forget with this that the more you do it, The better you'll get, the more practice makes perfect, you know. Like I said before, when I look back at like my really old beard videos, they're so bad. But the more you practice, the better you'll get. So I have mentioned this before with these side parts, but for the little like joining areas here, I smile because I have a very pronounced chin when I smile. So if I don't smile and put them on, then when I do smile, the lines just look really odd. So I give a big old grin and then I draw them on. And there we go. It doesn't go weird because I smiled with it. I don't know if that works for all like chin types, but it certainly works for me and if you have a more pronounced chin. And there you have a very basic outline of your basic bitch beard. Get yourself some kind of tissue paper or a towel if you don't mind getting face paint all over it. And then you're gonna wet the sponge and get the excess off on the corner. And then I dab it onto this again, just to get the really heavy excess water out. Swirl it into that. As you can see, still quite wet. So I again dab it once just to get that really heavy excess off. And then you can start putting it on your face. I don't know how well you can see it on the camera here, but you can see that it's kind of like a dappled effect, and it really helps give the illusion of hair. I will try and make it look more realistic in just a moment, but I'm going to get the just a basic outline of it on first. So go over all the areas where you've put the eyeshadow on. Again, not forgetting the sideburns. So that's the basic kind of chin strap beard. To get the like shapes, the like little pointed shapes. I'm explaining this really badly, I know, but to get that kind of like into the chin type area, just get the very tippy end of your sponge. Like so. The same with these corners, just turn it kind of on its side. And get it really in there. When it comes to the mustache, again, get that very edge, and instead of dabbing it on, drag it down. And that kind of gives the effect of longer hairs. Again, try and get those like really fine lines on the very like corners, because you don't want it to look really chunky like my old ones really used to. Doesn't have to be neat, doesn't have to be perfect. Nobody's mustache, nobody's beard is incredibly neat and tidy. Well, obviously some people are, but the Jacksepticeye egos are certainly not. I just dab a little bit. That's when the keeping like some of the shade of the brown eyeshadow on this little bit really helps. With this bit, I've been doing less and less lately on this little tiny bit. I used to make this line so thick and so chunky, and I look back on it now and it just looks fake. So having it kind of just a little tiny little bit of shading there, I think makes it look a little bit more realistic. And again, the same for the sides, just gently drag it rather than dab it. I used to dab these sides, and that was why the lines looked really, really thick. And then the last thing I do with it is I just go and, again, just pull down on some areas where you've already dabbed on these, and it just gives that like hard edge a kind of softness and gives it a more realistic look by making it look more like hairs rather than just singular stubble effect looks. does make the beard look a little longer. So if you want a shorter beard, then avoid that. And then you can finish off by just giving it a little bit of a more stubbly look on some of the areas. And there we go, et voila, a Jacksepticeye Ego beard tutorial. Don't forget to get under here. Good job to always kind of pull these like faces, and then you can see if you missed any patches. And then just to set that, get your powder, tap off any loose, and just really lightly, oh, I'm looking in this like it's a mirror, just really lightly dab over it. Just a light kind of dusting. And that really gets rid of that like face painty sheen. And it also just, again, helps it to stick. And there we have it. This is my complete beard look finished. Again, forgive that this part is really, like the contour is really stark. It's just because, again, stage lighting and stuff like that is gonna make all that kind of smooth out, and TikTok filters, again, smooth out a lot of your face, so I just try and exaggerate it to make it a little more obvious. But I hope that this was helpful, and once again, get yourself one of these things if you ever want to do beard look, specifically this kind of beard look. It is a freaking lifesaver. I very highly recommend it. Stipple sponge. Look at the stipples. Look at them. Look. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the box below. It is very gender affirming seeing like the beard makeup with the hair. It really does kind of make me feel a lot better. This is the first time I'm ever going to be using the Jacksepticeye Ego cosplays without a wig. So this is the first time I've cosplayed them since I've got my hair done, and it's going to be cool. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope that was helpful. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye!